Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Hidden. I'm back. My boy Andrew's here. Andrew, what up? What up?
Chilling, man. What's good, man? How's everything?
What's going on, man? Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Yo, everybody, we talking about Ready or Not 2. Here I come. We just saw this in theaters, starring Kathryn Newton and Samara Weaving. This is the sequel to Ready or Not 1, which came out in, I believe, 29 what was it 2019, so it's like a 7-year gap since the last one came out. And Ready or Not is interesting. It's an interesting movie, and we want to talk about it. We're gonna give our input about this movie. There's a lot to talk about. This actually has Elijah Wood also in this movie, and it also has Sarah Michelle Gellar, which was a surprise to me. It was great to see her in this movie. So Andrew, you didn't see Ready or Not Part One, right?
I never got a chance to see it. I know when I saw the trailer and I saw Elijah Wood, I was like, oh shit, it kind of drove me to wanting to watch this movie because I haven't seen the motherfucker in a minute as far as
Yeah,
acting wise. So, and he still looks pretty good. As far as age go or aging wise, so if he's gonna be in the next Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movie, he gonna be good to go.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Ready or Not Two. So Ready or Not was basically a movie about Samara Weaving. She marries into this family, and they're wealthy. She becomes a part of their family, and when they introduce somebody new to their family, they have to play a game. Now, usually the game can go either way. If you They have her draw a card, and then when she draws the card, they'll play whatever the game is on the card. Unfortunately, she draws the one card that hasn't been drawn in decades, and that card basically is hide and seek. So now she has to hide, the family has to sacrifice her, a ritual sacrifice, because if they don't do that by dawn, then they're gonna die. They're gonna implode, explode, or whatever. The great grandfather made some type of deal with a satanic ritual that got the family wealthy and everything. So because of that, they always have to carry out this ritual. This movie. First of all, let me just say that the family in this movie, they are very high in the whole satanic ritual stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Yeah,
they.
apparently, the dude, the heist counsel, or the dude in the hot seat, he controls the world
Yeah,
in this movie. It's crazy.
yeah, because if you're in the high seat, you can one phone call from you, and you can launch a missile. You can stop a war. You own the phone companies. You own the police. Like this is what they're basically trying to implement and say that, hey, if you own the high seat, you are like in charge of everything.
What's
So
crazy, man, I feel like Hollywood be telling the truth low key in like these movies, and just to kind of like just saying it bluntly out there, like, yeah, we run the world, dog. The
yeah,
president, he ain't doing shit. He a
yeah.
puppet. Everybody puppets. Damn, dog. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, it always feels like there's some kind of like, secret society or some hidden message with these movies that they're trying to tell us. You know what I mean? It's really just up to you to decide what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean? But it is a crazy movie. Part one was really crazy. I feel like compared this to part one, I know you didn't see it, but if I was gonna compare it, it's the thing about this movie that's weird is that in both Ready or Not. So in part one, when they were trying to hunt, um, when they were trying to hunt the girl, what's her name? Samara Weaving, who stars as Grace. I'm sorry, you guys. Samara Weaving stars as Grace. Catherine Newton stars as Faith, and they're sisters in part two. But in part one, Grace was being hunted, and when she was being hunted, the thing about it is she's being hunted by families who really don't have any experience of murder or killing anybody. They don't even look like they hunt because, in part one and part two is the same thing applies, same rules apply. They're trying to catch this person, but it's a lot of fuck ups. This Grace and her sister in this movie has plot armor. You know what I'm saying? When they are trying to hunt them, people don't know how to use rifles in this movie. They don't know how to use guns. It's like they're always messing up. You know what I mean? It's just regular people, that really don't wanna be a part of this ritual, but they're kind of just thrown into this and they have no choice or else, they're gonna lose the seat and their families are gonna be cursed. So, that's the issue I have with part 1 and part 2. The only difference I feel like with part 1 is that it just felt a little bit more, Grace was, I don't know how to put this. I feel like Grace was just a lot more, she was like a damsel in distress in part 1. And this one you have her and her sister and it really was just a family drama dynamic. The sister and her has this falling out when they were younger and they don't contact each other for years now and then eventually now that Catherine, who is Faith, plays her emergency contact. She plays Grace emergency contact. So when Grace is in trouble, that's who they call, her sister, and she comes now from years of not talking to her sister to find out what's going on, only to be thrown into the situation where she has to survive for her life because they're trying to murder her and the sister now. The movie is good. It's a good follow up to part 1, I believe. I would say, as far as a follow up is concerned, it is a good follow up. It's sad that it it feels like it's good, but it also feels like, seeing as how there's a 7-year gap with this movie, it kind of feels weird that it took 7 years to make this sequel, and it really just felt kind of, I don't know, it felt kind of forced. But I mean, there was a lot of weird, like in part 1, I felt like there was better kills. And this one, the kills really didn't it really wasn't that great. The way people were dying was it's always accidental in this movie. Like it was the same thing in part 1. Like a lot of people died by accident, a lot of people died by fuck ups. People were basically trying to kill Grace and then they ended up killing each other. So that's pretty much what they did from part 1 and that's what they're doing in part 2. Um
Yeah, there was one part in part two, I think, where they one accidentally killed the other one by accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's the same formula that they pretty much picked up off with part 1 because that's basically what happened. People were trying to kill Grace, they ended up killing each other, and because Grace is, she's a skinny blonde girl. She doesn't really have much strength. Her sister is not strong like that either, but they're overpowering, grown men and they're overpowering everybody else, and it's just like it's kind of not believable. So Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's also in this and she has a husband named Titus, who's played by Sean Hatosi. I hope I said that right.
I thought they were
And
brother and sister.
yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Uh,
Brother and sister. And so they're trying to get the seat, because their father was the one who was on top of the seat, and you know, he eventually dies in this movie, and then now they're trying to get the seat, and it's like a power struggle between the two because Sarah, she's trying to own the seat, her brother's trying to own the seat. In the end, they both are clashing to see who can own the seat, and then I just felt like Sarah Michelle Gellar was cool. It was cool seeing her in this movie. The brother's character kind of was weird for me because he kind of started out as like this prissy, punk guy who's always getting bullied or bitched by his sister, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually by the end of the movie, he kind of just became this hard ass, and it was just weird pacing with his character, I felt. But aside from all that, I mean, the movie was decent. It's a decent follow up, especially if you've seen part 1. I believe you should see part 2. It is a good movie. It's just the timing just fell off for me as far as it being like a 7-year gap. It's like this movie felt like they could have brought this out 3 years, you know, earlier. So, um Elijah Wood, he was great as the lawyer for the family. It was interesting seeing him in the movie. Is there any part that stood out to you, Andrew, in this movie?
man. Um, I'm gonna just tell you how I felt about it. One, I felt this movie was very unserious.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you could understand the aspect, but like I'm watching the movie and it's just like it's supposed it felt like a combination of horror and comedy.
right.
So it
Mhm.
wasn't serious to me. Like watching the movie, I'm like, is this supposed to be serious? Am I supposed to be feeling a certain type of way? Because this shit looks like it's the death seemed funny. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't um, you know,
Yeah, well, it's a
I don't
horror
know.
comedy. the
Yeah,
that's like the
I didn't know that. I had
yeah,
no idea. I literally came in thinking it was gonna be just like a thriller. It was gonna be fucking, some I don't know.
yeah,
I had no idea. No idea.
yeah,
But I was hoping for a thriller.
yeah,
Good
no,
story.
it's a horror
But
comedy, so it's
this
meant to give that kind of, like,
yeah.
impression, you know?
So yeah, so the entire time in the movie, I was like, this movie is trash. I was about to walk
Yeah.
out the movie. I was falling asleep. I was pissed. I was pissed as fuck. I was like, man, I should have never fucking picked it. I like, we should have seen another movie. I'm like, fuck, man.
Well,
I was pissed.
yeah, I mean, that's the kind of the impre and that's what I'm saying. In part 2, the kills definitely felt off. It didn't feel like even in part 1, the kills were a little bit better, even though same deal. It was like people were dying by accident, but still, people were getting shot, people were getting stabbed. It just felt realer, like in this one, they really took the comedy to like kind of like another high with this one.
Wasn't even that funny neither, though. That's the thing too. Like it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I mean, people were laughing in the theater, and it was like ha ha's, but like, bro, it was not that like even old girl. So like Faith, Catherine Newton,
mhm,
fucking she, like what was the point of her being in a fucking movie? That was one of my things. Like
yeah,
she, yeah, okay, they had to put her in somehow. And like you said before, I think we talked before we were talking. You were like, man, seeing them two girls in there was just amazing to see because they both beautiful actresses.
yeah,
But at the same time, like, yo, there was no reason for her to be in this fucking movie, man,
yeah.
at all.
I love Kathryn Newton. Kathryn Newton, she's a really great actor. I feel like in this movie, well, they said that the reason they brought her in with Grace was because she was basically meant to slow her down in some way. She was there to kind of like drag her down. Um, this movie felt like it was heavily focused on the sister dynamic between Grace and Faith. They haven't seen each other for this whole time, and they were really trying to play into that family drama, trauma that they had between each other, and that was really kind of what they went with this movie. It felt less of a horror comedy or survival or whatever you want to call it, and it just felt more like they were trying to do like a family type oriented thing between the two. You know,
Yeah,
the
I don't know, man.
characters,
I was
yeah,
gonna say I didn't feel that way. It was, I felt like it kind of just kind of while watching the movie, I was like, yo, they really at the end of the day look like they just forcing shit on us, man. Especially with the satanic shit that's going on
yeah,
in that movie, worshiping the devil. It was like, what is Hollywood doing right now, man? For
yeah.
real, for real.
To be honest with you, I felt like part one, it hit harder than this movie did, and I guess that was because part one was the unexpected. Like if you watch part one, you're not aware of what's gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna happen, and then when things kind of do start happening, you're like, oh, that's different. That's crazy.
Mm.
And that's what made part 1 so interesting as to why I felt like, all right, I understand why they're making a part 2. But when you take away that suspense for now, you don't know what's going to happen. So now you kind of know what's going to happen if, she doesn't survive the night, the family is going to die, and now they kind of just play into a whole different type of scenery, and they just change it up a little bit. It just felt like it was definitely forced, but this is something that I feel like a lot of the fans of part one wanted, and that's why they had to make a part two. But I do feel like I said, this movie could have came out 3 years earlier. I just feel like the timing that it took to come out, it could have been a lot better than it was. But still, if you did see part one, you want to see part two. It's not a bad movie. Could have been better. It's just like I said, it could have. It's just a lot of like ridiculous things that was going on. Like I said, the two sisters, they have plot armor in this movie. You know what I mean? So
I mean, yeah, I felt like the script was trash, and then like Sean had to see, man, like this dude is a legend. Like this dude is such great actors, but like the talent used for this movie was just over to waste, man.
yeah,
Like Sean had to see, and like I was expecting like his work from like what's that shit called, man? Alpha Dog. You seen Alpha Dog before, man? This dude is,
yeah,
he does a lot of good shit, man. The Faculty.
hmm,
He was, I like this character. He was just like a real, like, prick dude, but then at the same time he's evil. And
yeah,
then that's kind of what I was expecting here. But like you said, he kind of flip flopped in this shit, and it was just like
Yeah,
trying to be funny.
yeah.
Yeah, uh,
Yeah,
I was
for those of you who've seen Ready or Not 1, I would recommend to go see it just to feel your curiosity about how the movie is, but if you didn't see this movie before, this is another one of those movies that I would say just wait till it comes out on streaming. You're not missing out on anything.
oh, not at all,
Yeah, you're
dog.
not missing out on anything. But Kathryn Newton, and Samara Weaving, I definitely love them as actresses. I think they're amazing at what they do. I think they're great together. I would love to see them in another movie with a more serious tone to it. Definitely.
Yo, yeah, man. Hollywood, what's up with Samara and fucking Margot? Why they look alike, bro? What we
Yeah,
doing?
that's a whole nother topic in itself. But
Gotta
you
talk about
guys,
that.
yeah, man, we don't got a lot of time, so we just wanted to give you our input on this movie. You guys definitely let us know if you see this movie. Let us know what you think about it. Ready or Not 2 is currently out in theaters right now. Please give us comments to let us know how you feel about this review. And remember, you guys, we also have merch in the link. You go ahead and click the merch. We have movie gear. I have video game gear, all of that. It's all in my link in the in my page. Y'all go check that out. Yo, once again, thank you for watching this review for Ready or Not 2. And remember, everybody, it isn't cinema unless it's absolute cinema. Till next time, take care.
Peace.